Do you ever feel tired from all the informations and all the communication that you have to do every single day? And I think it is increasing more and more. At the same time, if you have silent moment or silent space or empty space in your schedule, you might start worrying about it, and you start maybe filling up with all the activities or appointments. And that would also not help if you are feeling overwhelmed. And there is this silence, the power of silence, that we appreciate, and we actually make it as valuable and sacred space in everyday life in Japan. This silence in Western communication, if you have silent moment, you might feel uncomfortable and you start talking and also each other. As much as possible, you might fill this space in communication with words, and we try as much as possible to explain, and especially in discussion. And when you have some disagreement with others, you try to explain with words, every word, as much as possible, to use as much as words, and do more talk rather than probably listening. If you may have heard the Japanese people speaking, for example, you may have come across the silence in between words and also in between phrase. And there is also silent space in daily living and also design. I think I have explained in other videos as well, in architecture, this silent place, the void, it's so important in our life. And this also brings some solutions and answer to your life, which is overloaded with so much information and so much list of things that you have to do. So today I'm going to share this power of silence and how you could actually bring this into your life. In my studies and also in my career, it has been my passion to explore how people from different culture interact and how they communicate. And this has been my fascinated subject as well. And also, especially in terms of communication, we have verbal communication and non-verbal communication. And as you know, in communication, we have body language and tone of the voice and words as well. But the words really we use is the smallest part of our communication. And others, our voice, our body language, our expressions, and everything count. So in these days, we try to use, you may be trying to use as much words as possible. And of course, we have to make it clear to communicate. But we can also bring this silent space into our communication so that we can also make your communication much smoother and easier. And when you see really like the leaders, they know how to space the speech and also how to bring this silence in between words, in between phrases. And this is the place where we can actually bring our key, our life force energy into our communication. So we bring the energy into our communication. And also this is a place when we are in silence, we can also feel others, how they are actually thinking. And we can actually tune into the other energy, which is we are surrounded. So rather than focusing too much inside of ourselves, creating this silence allow us to observe what's going around us. So this also apply not only the communication in between people, but also in our schedule as well. When we have silent space in our daily life, it might be difficult if you're working from 9 to 5 and then in the evening. And if you have space of time, like empty agenda, you might feel I can see my friend. I can actually play golf or I can do such a thing. But at the same time, if your calendar is so empty, you might start worrying about it. And if you hear or other friends or colleague always talking about what they did and also their plans to attend birthday parties or events, etc., you might feel, I don't have anything and maybe I have to do something. But this silent time, like in this silence, you don't have to make a plan. You can just do something as you feel like. And in these times, it's really allow us to rest and tune into our own soul and what we are really feeling at this moment and how we like to create our life. And so this is really the time that we can actually return to ourselves. So when we create we can create these moments when we talk with other people and when we create more space and silence in between our communication. It's not totally being silent and ignoring others, but to create some moments of silence or some seconds of silence in communication. You feel more, your energy goes down and you feel together with your body, and it's not like your head talking to the other person. So you feel naturally more peaceful and grounded. And this really helps you to wind down. And you might be going to meditation, but going to meditation also becomes one of your activities that you actually feel your schedule. So these moments, and if you're feeling really like burnout or like on the verge of having burnout, just bringing this silence into everyday life is really, really powerful. Even when you're speaking with others, with colleagues, just take a moment to slow down and then to breathe and then breathe out, then speak. And nobody is going to rush you to speak. So it is great to have this very small gesture to bring little silence into your communication, but it really helps. We need to express what we think, but it's not just by words. When we have this silence, we also select more attentively and carefully which word we are going to use. So your communication naturally becomes more powerful. And then less is more. Quality than quantity, I would say. So this silence creates also in the space where we live and create some space rather than filling it up. And then this becomes the silent space as well. So silence and stillness, and it's actually the time and space comes together. And in Buddhism terms, we also use the word ku, and the void, it's the empty space, but it's not really empty. Then silence, it's not really nothing. It's not, so this is a space where we have lots of potential and also inspirations. So this is, it looks like the seed which is going to grow. And then we can create this silence as much as possible. And also in social media, we have so many more and more information every single day. And also many are also created by AI, and even the news, we hardly know what is true or not. So it is also we can also use social media or like a digital device more mindfully of what we need to receive from this information and what I need, and then how I use. And so it is also very important to have our own rhythm and what it suits you. And that also depends on the person as well. But from the Japanese perspective, this bringing this silent space in communications, and that brings our human relationships, that makes our relationship either with friends, colleagues, family, it becomes in a way more peaceful. And also you would feel, both of you would feel more comfortable, and so to connect each other in this silence. So then at home, for example, and when you're at home, for example, when you're at home, I love music and I play the music, but also I like the silence. I like to be in the silence. So instead of, some people might say, I feel very uncomfortable to be without music at home. And that's okay. But you can also create this moment of silence when you're at home. And it is a time that you may confront yourself. And maybe your mind starts becoming very active, and you may start inner chat. So, but in these times, you can also start writing, journaling, or whatever the thoughts you come. And we can create in this silent time, you can just imagine it's like being in the temple in Japan or a beautiful Japanese garden. And instead of going to meditation, and if you don't have time to do that, creating this silence throughout the day, it's so important. And then going to meditation, and this is not only the solution to make you feel better, but it is important to bring this silence throughout the day, every day, in sometimes. And you might be a busy mother with like 2 or 3 children, you might be running around, but also there are some moments that you can create this silent moment, or even to teach children to hold this silent moment. And I remember I gave tea ceremony session at the elementary school. I think they were like about 7 years old. When I was in the Netherlands, I was invited to give these sessions, and we had 60 children. But during the session, these active boys and girls, they were silent for entire hour. The teacher couldn't believe it, but the energy that I created for them, and they mirrored. So it is possible, even with most active children, and to share this silent moment. And I think this is also very important part of education, and not only just teaching to study, but also how to hold these sacred moments in early life. And in Japan, like how I was brought up traditionally, this silent moment was also very important. So thank you for watching. If you'd like to join my private community and to meet once a week and to practice, and you learn to practice ancient Japanese wisdom and how we can integrate into our modern life, please join us, and all the information and the link is in the below. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.